People always want to do something about it when it's too late. That is very true and very prevalent and very prominent, especially with the things that are going on nowadays, and barely any action, barely any remedy, barely any solutions has been put into place, has been implied, has been inserted and injected into today's current society. That's why the situations nowadays are awry. It's in shambles. It's in chaos. There's a lot of havoc left, right and center. Up and down, inside, outside, in front, behind, diagonal 360. Everywhere. I long for that day, just like a lot of us. A lot of you. Where things actually get better, if it ever does. Otherwise it's just the same mundane thing that you use your visuals, visual learners, you use your peepers and you peep the situation and you just peruse and observe, witness and identify, investigate your environment and surroundings. Just like events that may happen to you befall you, and then it's like it affects you and your lifestyle, it changes your mood, it sets your mood for the day. I watch a fellow person like me, I don't want to be too direct with the term, a fellow person like me, he said it, and it's a good point that we were planning to have a good day, and at least try, put in the effort to have a good day somewhat, and then something befalls you, something happens to you, it sets that mood into place, it sets it in motion, and then it just runs throughout your day, and then even the countless good things that goes on in your day, you just focus on the negative, which reminds me of that video that I made in my channel. You can go check it out. People tend to lean more on negativity than positivity. And also, we have 86,400 seconds within a day, if I'm not mistaken. And then someone just pretend it's cash, money. I saw it on YouTube, and it's a really good point. And funnily enough, it's made by a channel that produces memes. And then this meme is actually not a meme. It's actually true. It's actually truth and wisdom. We have 86,400 seconds within a day. That's a lot of time. And then someone pretend we have $86,400. Okay, money terms. And then we lose $60. We have 86,340 remaining. So do we want to waste all that money, $86,340, because we lost $60? Do we want to lose the heaps, the remaining heaps, the remaining lump sum of money just because we lost some chump change, pretty much? I think not, right? Similar with time, 86,400 seconds. We lost 60 seconds worth of negativity. Do we want to focus on the negativity and just let the remaining 86,340 seconds be wasted? No, right? There's a lot of time wasted, a lot of time on our hands to be wasted. We don't want that. I don't want that. And it's not an easy feat. We gotta train our minds. I guess it's because we've been through life a lot of the times, obviously, and then it's not without its catches and turn of events. Obviously there's negativity, there's things that we did not expect happening to us, befalling us, accosting us, acting as an affront to us. And then we have to put up with it even though we don't want to. And it's really annoying. Then that's why we tend to lean more on negativity, to look deep into that said negativity to like use it in the future as kind of a foresight prediction to make sure it doesn't affect us again, I guess. And to be prepared, make hay while the sun shines, a calm before the storm. So yeah, interesting thing. And then also people always want to do change when it's too late, right? Reminds me of the recent fellow you know who, a follower of Donald Trump that got assassinated. I don't want to be too direct. So before that, there's all this feud and fiasco, if that's the right word. There's all this turmoil, chaos between the one side and the other side. I don't want to be too direct. The one side and the other side. And then now you see the one side attacks the other side because the other side is like unwilling to cooperate and doesn't see the silver lining between the one side, what it has to offer and all that, and then constantly blame the one side, the other side blames the one side, and then it's always this brother sister fight, you know, or brother sister sister, always this sibling fight, always this quarrel. But before that, where's the cooperation, where's the harmony, where's the truce? Now you see people are up in arms, people have their feathers ruffled, and then now things are more awry, AWRY. Things are more chaotic and problematic. And then it becomes kind of the new thing, you know, almost. People are like implying and following just whatever happens, and then, well, that's the new thing we're gonna follow. Instead of looking in between the fine lines, looking deep within is always superficial, right? It's typical. And then they just want to follow along because someone else is doing it. Why don't we do it too? Even though it's clearly wrong. Just like Irina Zarutska. You know, some people say it's fake, some people say it's real. I would say it's real, even though it looked kind of fake. Even though, because I watched the video, I know she was in shock. She was shell shocked. She was just flabbergasted because it happened so quickly, in a blink of an eye. But I did not see any red substance, any red elixir, you know, gushing out of her. I know she curled her frame, she curled herself up into a fetal position, and then she was shocked, she was crying, and then suddenly she collapsed, and then her hand, she was like squeezing something, you know. So it's almost like, is it real or is it staged? Is it fake? Maybe it's trying to send a message or something. I don't want to say anything, you know, I'm just speculating. But a straight answer, I would say, is real, you know. A life has been lost in the bus, and another life has been lost because the one side and the other side are in quarrel with each other, always throwing their stones towards each other. It's just ridiculous and stupid. Is this what humanity is? Is this what it is? Is this what we have stooped down to so low? Is this what we have come to? It's absolutely mind-blowing and baffling and idiotic. Having to witness all these things where you can't say much, otherwise people will be up in arms, feathers ruffled, aggravated, agitated. And you gotta calm down, you know. People are volatile. People are volatile, explosive, volcanic eruption, you know. Just like one of those extremely volatile and active volcanoes where it often erupts. Is it Krakatoa? I think that's the most eruptive volcano, Krakatoa, Indonesia. And then you also have probably the Japanese volcano. I'm not sure if there's a volcano in Japan. Another one is Iceland, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just rapid firing pretty much, just randomly stating places that probably does not have volcanoes. But I know for a fact that Indonesia has, which is called Krakatoa. And supposedly, if I'm not mistaken, if my facts are correct, or maybe they are not, fact check, I think it's the most eruptive and volatile volcano. Just some fun facts and tidbits and TMI. That's pretty much how people are. Sensitive as heck, overly emotional. And the fact that I can't make jokes anymore, I think I mentioned this before in my previous videos, is actually a godsend, even though I'm not religious, and screw religion, but I'll just say it to make a point. It's a godsend that I can't make jokes, or I don't make jokes anymore. It's because I end up being too honest, which happened. That is why I stopped. That's why I never made jokes anymore. It's because I saw the look on people's faces and they didn't take it too kindly. They kind of wanted to, have a rumble and tumble with me, so to speak. But it's just a shame that changes happen when it's too late. But the whole time when people have been saying that we need a change, we need a revolution, we need a shift, we need an uproar, we need a riot and protest to cause something to change. This will not stand, something has got to give. And then when it's too late, there's always the golden hour, right? Is that the right term? Golden hour? Maybe. It's always that ding dong. The grandfather clock goes chiming, and then people start grabbing their arms, their weapons and pitchforks and whatnot, and the shovel, the shears, and then they want to step at the front door of some government house, the White House or something, and then protesting, It's always when it's too late. Where was it the whole time before it's too late? Might as well not do anything, right? If it's going to be too late, well, better late than never. How about better early than late? How about early to bed, early to rise? Which is ironic because I often sleep late. Just like a lot of people. It's pretty much the new thing already. It's pretty much a trend. Because people are so caught up with their work, if they're working, and then, going to work early, coming back late and whatnot. Or even students studying, sleepless nights. Finish the project assignments, or they're just too serious with their studies, which I'm not, because I'm going to graduate in 2027, middle, not the start of 2027, bear in mind, middle of 2027. Is it still going to be useful? Is it still going to be relevant, my degree, or has it all been a waste? I have no idea, I have no clue. We have yet to see it, we have yet to witness, and then perhaps I'll report, just like these videos that I make, reporting for duty. Sergeant Lepa, reporting for duty. But I think that's all I gotta say. It's always when it's too late. That's a shame. Just like the previous deaths, And then it just cause people to panic. It just causes people to not feel certain for what the future may hold. And then it's just more stresses, anxiety, depression. As if we don't have enough problems already, right? Am I right or am I right? It's just a damn shame. That's all I gotta say. Adios.